Podcast. Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. In today's podcast, what are we going to be talking about? Inspiration, being inspired, being able to navigate the raging river that is our life. Let's get started. So, as we're stepping into 2024, I'm sure everybody has their own resolution. Good for you people if you do. Let's see how much you can stick with it or not. Because I always felt when I was younger that I should not be setting up any, I will say, resolution on January 1st. And the reason was it's too much pressure, people. Seriously, do it during the year. Don't put everything on the first of the year. I remember when I was using the fitness center I was going, you would see a jam pack. Like you had to basically wait in the line to use some of those apparatus. Then it started to fade away. By February, most of the people who had a brand new pass to come and work out did not do that anymore. They just gave up. So setting up expectation, and a lot of them can bring more pressure to ourselves. We don't want this in our life. We don't need to stress ourselves a little bit more when we do set our intentions or whatever we want to accomplish. We need to be realistic on a time frame as well. We need to just take it quote unquote easy, meaning is it realistic? Is it something I can achieve very quickly, or am I going to struggle about it? That's the question we can ask ourselves. What is the intention behind it? Is it something that I really need to do, or I'm doing it for somebody else, or because I feel the pressure around me to do that? Do what is best suits you. If something is being pushed to you just because, well, oh my God, the outer condition said, oh my goodness gracious, you should lose weight, you should do this, you should do that. Well, it's removing your authentic self. It's removing who you truly are. But is it really beneficial for me? Look at that. And set your intention in a way that it really is for your highest good. Not to punish yourself, not to try to take something away from somebody, but set your intention right. I know, strange to say the word right. Be your own inspiration. Daydream. See what suits you and feels good about. So, let's say you want to plan a trip. Maybe you can start to put pictures of a place you would like to go. If you don't have one in particular, would you like to be near the water? Would you like the climate to be colder? Would you like to go skiing? Whatever inspires you, and make it happen by dreaming about it, by going over there, by seeing yourself there. Those are interesting things we can set up. But look at your intentions and look at what suits you best. Because we can set so many things in motion, or try to. Some will work, some will take maybe a little longer. Maybe you're going to have to go into a specific journey to go where you need to be. Like my journey has been very interesting because sometimes you have, in order to get where you need to be, have to go to multiple steps or phases in order to get there. The universe never give you your first class ticket and say, okay, you want to go there? Here we go. You're done. No, you have to go on your journey, and that journey will guide you there. Sometimes you take detours because, again, life lessons are not a pass. You don't have any pass for life lessons. If you don't want to do your life lessons, then that's fine. You're going to come back and do it over again because you have not accomplished what you're supposed to do now. The question is what your intentions are. Life lessons will adapt to where we are as we're moving forward in our journey. Life lessons can be applied at any given time. The latest one I had, actually, it was a good one, is when I stayed at that place for a month. Then I looked around and I knew the atmosphere wasn't right. I knew the intent of that person was just fake. It was just a facade, a show. I knew that. I knew it, and I knew Luckily for me that she left for a month, which was a blessing because I was able to meet the people I was supposed to meet, do what I was supposed to do, and able to get going in my life without any chaos and interruptions. When she came back, I was already gone. The only thing I had to do was continue to work peacefully with this individual until the universe flipped a switch and really show who she truly was. And again, it was just a matter of time when I would close the door on this individual. But that's okay. I was supposed to be there for a reason, and I was there. I saw the issue, and I moved, and I mentioned to the universe, it's time to move away. Not staying one more minute where it's not needed. Met incredible people, and being able to recognize the situation, something that wasn't healthy, but it was a step up to where I needed to be. So you have to see every phases you have been. Some are easy roads, some are a little bit challenging, some are stronger, some are not so fun. But those are all our phases, and we're being tested afterward as well. Are we bringing temptation back in our lives? Are we bringing people back in our lives that we don't need? Are we bringing the same kind of taste? Different people, different situation, but same life lesson. Have you learned from something? It always like that, being thrown like that, a little detour, just a little test to see if you're still passing. And you will pass brightly because you recognize what is and what is not. Our life is not guided only by the universe, but by our own free will. So when it comes down to free will, are we in the right place? Are we doing the right thing for our own self? Are we moving into a world of challenge, compassion, life that we deserved? Are we enjoying what we're doing? Let's be honest. Let's be authentic for a minute. Is the right people surrounding you? And it can be family member or friend or acquaintances as well. Is the environment you are a right fit for you? If not, what are you going to do about it? Having the awareness is one step. It's recognizing what works, what doesn't work. The other thing is, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to be pouting? Are we going to be complaining? Or are we going to take action to change this? Those are questions we need to ask because, as I said, many times I'm hearing people complaining, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like. I'm like, So what are you doing to resolve this? And most of them are like, well, resolve what? Well, you're complaining. Are you part of the problem or are you part of the solution? If you want to continue to complain over and over and over, good for you because you're doing a good job. But is it really what you want? Or are you going to step up to the plate and say, okay, enough is enough. Let's see what else I can do. Set your intentions. We are alchemists. Every word we said are like spell word, like spelling. In the word spelling, you get the word spell. Our words are powerful. We don't see scars that we carrying when words are being used, like you're not smart, you're dumb, you're an idiot, you're fill out the blank. Those words are powerful. You have to believe or not. If you don't believe in those words, that's good. But most people will believe in those words. You are not dumb. But if you let people influence you, that becomes a problem. You are your authentic self. If you live in fear because you're afraid to speak up, because you're afraid you're going to lose your job or your home or something like that, you have to look at what can I do to change all of this. That fake wall that's being built around you, it's like the ego world. The world of the ego, where we want everybody in that little box. We don't want you to expand. We don't want to see your spirit. We don't want to see anything. We want you to be part of the robot world where you're going to follow what we're telling you. That's not how it's supposed to work. We have our own free wills. Now we have to learn to respect everybody else's own free wills. You cannot impose your free will on somebody else's. That's another tricky part too. And people don't realize that. You don't have to push everything else like that and expecting a dictatorship. It's not even, at this point, free will. Our own free will stops when we are entering somebody else's space. You can provide feedback. You can provide a viewpoint if the person asks for it. And I'm hearing my dogs again playing. You know what I love with those pups? I think I'm going to have a talk with them next time and just say, you know what, guys? I'm recording. Again, I'm not at my home. There's no home. My home sweet home is what I'm making up right now, actually. But I'm staying in a cabin, which I actually enjoy it. The view is amazing. The sunset, not sunrise. The sunrise is beautiful, but the sunset right now is majestic. So now I got the pups who have a full belly, actually. I hate the din-din, but for some unknown reason, they decide to make that noise as well. They want to be heard into the podcast, so I apologize. And no, I'm not going to be cutting it because this is who I am. And make it real because I like it real. So when we're looking at our lives, don't look at the past as a failure. It's trials and error, not failures. It's like people who are failing in their businesses and they feel like, well, I'm a failure. No, your businesses did not work because it's not the right one or the approach needed something refined. You have to look at life as big life lessons and learning from it. Learning from everything you have done, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Learning of the awareness of situation. Be mindful, because I think one of the biggest things, and I put it in my signature, I changed from peace and best regard to peace and mindfulness, actually. Being mindful of what we do. Being mindful of what you're eating and how you're eating. Being mindful that before you speak up, think about the words you're going to be using. And I know sometimes when we're triggered by people, we just want to blah them, literally. But we don't have to. Think about, and I've been practicing this actually for quite some time. Set your peace and walk away. Set your peace and walk away. I have set my peace to a lot of people who are still angry for whatever reason. They're monkey, they're circus, not my problem. But I set my peace and I walk away because I'm not interested into their circus and their monkeys. I'm not interested of the lies. I'm not interested because they see something or feel threatened by something they saw. Maybe the peacefulness, maybe the being whole, maybe somebody who can think differently, who cannot be manipulated, lied to, tricked to, whatever it is. We are here to learn who we truly are. We are here for transforming ourselves like the butterfly when the chrysalis, when they break that chrysalis, guess what? They become the butterfly. We are all butterflies. We all have our wings. We decide or not to use them. That is up to us. But you have to think about what can you do to improve your life. Who in your circle, inner circle, should not be there. I have cut the ties many years ago with my family because we were not seeing eye to eyes, but not only for this, for the chaos, for the drama, for the monkey in the circus, because somebody was bored, here we go again. The addiction of the chaos, which I'm not interested of. So it was a good, actually, month of a reminder of all of this, because the way we grew up, it was quote-unquote under construction as well. No heat. Better, actually, than where I was a couple months ago, actually. But seeing a situation of, déjà vu. Dealing with unauthentic individuals, déjà vu. Dealing with greed. Dealing with somebody that will be ready to rip you off just to get money. or whatever their intentions were, which were not the greatest one ever. Dealing with people who were on drugs, and I'm not talking marijuana, I'm talking meth. Dealing with individuals that has mental issues, that needed help actually from professionals. Dealing with people who had fears of not having enough food. But the conditions of going into a winter and not having heat, that is not fun. So you're looking at all of this and you're like, "Ooh, this reminds me several situations from my past, even when I grew up. Do I really want to go backwards? No, not really. Not interested to go backwards at all." So you need to make the right changes. You need to set your intentions. And you need to be clear in those intentions. The next thing I'm going to go is to live in a house. The next thing I'm going to go, universe, this is what you're doing right now. You bring me a house. You bring me a safety. You bring me, fill out the blank. And get going. Sitting on the floor, crying, poor me, it's not going to help us. I work with several people, and I pick and choose the people I work with, actually, from my past. Coaching, quote unquote. Because the reason I want to see in people is, are you here to do a pity party? Or are you here to stand up on your own 2 feet and move forward in your life? What is the best thing you're going to do? I have no interest for people who don't want to change who they are, but they want me, poor me. I don't have time for that. Never did and never will. But you have to ask the questions. Where are you in your life? And what are you going to be doing about it? This is so crucial. So you need to look at the people that surround you and say, well, it's my family, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're born where you're born. Some people will be with their family and they love their family and it's everything and it's beautiful. That's great. But some don't. Some it's a chaos. It's toxic. Why would I stay with somebody around me that is toxic? I'd rather cut the cord and move forward where I can get my peace. You don't want to be dragged down and have somebody like an anchor tied to your ankles and drag you down. It's not easy to do what we're doing in this world, in this life, for sure. But this is the university of life. I've been saying that for years. That big chessboard, that is our lives. This is how you do things. You don't have to pretend. We are who we are. Transform yourself. Live your authentic life. Because the hardest part for people is living their authentic life. They're afraid of, oh my goodness, if somebody see my true self, they're not going to like me. I have to fit in. You know what? You're never going to fit in because there is nothing to fit in. You attract the people you attract because those are a reflection of who you are. Some, again, remember, are for your life lessons. But the majority of them is just a reflection of who you are. So if the people are surrounding you are not the right one, start to change your inner self. What are you saying to yourself? What are you projecting into this world? You are just the alchemist. Your outer condition, in most cases, is a reflection of who you are. Again, let's put this very mildly. Your life lessons will be learned. So let's talk about life lessons. You can learn the first time around, but most of us don't, okay? You need to repeat 2, 3, or 4. And the more you do a repeat, the worse it gets, okay? So let's say you have a life lessons you have to learn about toxicity on people. But you're still there. You still surround yourself with toxic people who are not changing, but they are trying to take you down. And maybe they're going to do better than that. They're going to even challenge you better. They're going to bring somebody within your inner circle, somebody that you might fall in love with, who is a toxic person, who's going to drag you down, like financially, emotionally, spiritually. Every single thing that can be done to you will be done to you, to challenge you. And the big lesson is, are you going to give up your life purpose for that person? Or are you going to kick that person to the curb and name and claim what is yours. That is the kind of life lessons that we're learning. I've seen people at work jumping ship when they heard, oh my God, there might be a layoff. And they went to the competitors and they thought they were saved and safe. It happened that the team they went in was even worse than the one they left. And they regretted it for an entire year and a half. Tried to come back. And one of the director that became a VP was very, very resentful. That woman was just, oh boy. It took that person a year and a half to be able to come back because somebody else's was actually, pushing that person to be rehired. Took a year and a half. You know what he did? After 6 months, 7 months, he decided to switch department because his ambition wasn't to stay where he was. It was to come back in and move somewhere else within the company, which is fine. But I have seen too many times people jumping ship, one after one after one after one, out of desperation or scarcity. And when you go and run away, guess what? Most of the time, the grass is not that green on the other side. However, if you carefully, thoughtfully, mindfully orchestrate your exit by taking the time, regardless of the outer condition you're in, regardless of the pressure you're in, look for the right job. Then this happens. Guess what happened? You're going to find the right job, not out of desperation, because you removed the desperation out of the equation. So those are the kind of things you need to realize. That night of the fire, well, yes, I was pretty much pissed off. I was pissed off for about an hour. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know anything. I was pissed off because my roof was on fire. The chimney was on fire. Somebody started it. Somebody put our lives in danger. I would not woke up. We're being all dead, basically. That and the fact that I couldn't go back home to sleep, lost everything, and have this individual who's bright, actually, making such a simple mistake, not getting the fireplace professionally cleaned up, because they do check your fireplace when you do that. But burn, excess of burning woods. It's scary. It's upsetting, because I would have lost my house because of me. That would have been fine. But it wasn't in my hands. That makes it harder. So when you think about the influence you've got in your life, you have to think about other people that surround you that can influence yours as well. Now, not knowing where to go, I had no idea. It wasn't the fear. I was tired. I wanted to go home to sleep. The rest is history. The rest is determination and not knowing and leaning on the universe, having faith. It's very scary when you don't know where you're going. I don't have family here. I'm by myself, which is fine. But the universe has your back no matter what, no matter if you have a family or not. It doesn't matter. It has your back. So you have to think a little bit of how I'm going to handle everything. And if you don't know, then you turn to the universe. Everything that happened since that fire has been so well orchestrated by the universe. I saw the miracles. Like I talked on my previous podcast, I saw the miracles. Miracle is not, oh my God, the heaven opens and you walk on water. It's everything we do. The shift. Everything happened for a reason. The fire, the loss of Jay, everything happened for a reason. There is always something behind it. And sometimes we don't understand that. Sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we have no clue. The why and the why not. We don't have to know right away either. But if you let the universe in, then you have a better ride. Why working harder when you can work smarter? Why would I do all of the work when the universe is right there saying, hey, we can help you. Just let us in. Like Dr. Joseph Murphy said, we are our worst own enemies. We are the ones who are creating those blocks. We're not simplifying our life. We're complicating our lives, which is the truth. We are complicating our lives. So why should we complicate our lives when we can do simple things? The life of transformation is being able to have faith in ourselves, in the universe, and everything will work out the way it's supposed to work out without turning everybody else's nuts. Because we can turn everybody from cuckoo to cocoa puff very quickly. But transforming ourselves, transforming our lives, being able to appreciate who we truly are, and let the universe show us the path, the ways. I absolutely love that. Transform who you truly are. Embrace all of it and some more. So, being able to do that, I think, is one of the biggest key ever. It's not easy. And some people will say, well, but I can do this and that. Well, you can. But you know what? I've done a lot of things by myself. I've been self-reliant forever. This is how we grew up. You are self-reliant. You fix your own problem. You don't wait for the other shoe to drop. And working in a very high, stressful environment like I've done for many years, being able to remove the emotion out of the equation, to be able to see the bigger pictures, that is essential. Most of the time we could be blindsided by our own emotions, not being able to see the exit door, and we're banging ourselves against the wall. That is not what it's all about. We are transforming ourselves. We are beautiful. We are gorgeousness. We are creativity. We are divine. But we have to embrace who we truly are. We have to discover who we truly are. We have to grow mature in our own ways, in our own timing, being appreciative of what we've got. That's the transformation. That's really show who we are meant to become. The life of 1,000 is a life of transformation. The life of 1,000 is a life of beauty. The life of 1,000 is the butterfly flying away from the chrysalis. So think about who you truly are, what you want to accomplish, and get this going. So this was our podcast for today, the last one for the week. Yay! So I hope everybody will have a good weekend. And as I said, Emma is back on her podcast. I was quiet for, I don't know, March, May, I will say it for 7 months, 8 months, basically. And we are back, full force, ready to rock and roll, having fun, telling Teletubby stories, same with my blogs, and living the life to the fullest, sharing the wisdom of the universe, and continue to move forward in our lives, not feeling resentful, angry at what happened. It is what it is. But you know what? The universe has a bigger plan for us. Changes happen for a reason. They can be simple or radical changes. But it is always for our highest good. So I'm very blessed that everything happened for a reason. I am glad that the transformation I went through and continue to go through is leading me where I need to be. Took a long time to do this. So all my love, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye now. Emma's Universe Podcast.